What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Post-Gazette Pirates YouTube channel. Colin Beazley and Noah Hiles here, recapping another Pirates series. The Pirates split with the Milwaukee Brewers. They win 2, they lose 2. That series was concluded with a loss by a final score of 6-5 Sunday afternoon at PNC Park. Colin Beazley was there to cover it. I am already in Arizona, where I will have the next series covered here on the road. But before we get to that one, we got to recap that. Colin, actually, before we even send it over to you, Colin, we got to remind everybody to check out our work at post-gazette.com. Colin and I cover the team. I think we do a decent job. And we cover all Pittsburgh sports in this city, from high school to college to professional. And there's a lot of news going on in town. We cover that as well, along with the surrounding communities. Head to post-gazette.com. Get yourself a digital subscription if you don't have one already. Or hey, maybe even get yourself the print product. We print on Thursdays and Sundays. So check all of that out. Colin, first immediate thoughts on this series split.
It seems like a lot of what we've seen this year, where there were some positives, there were some things that looked like turning points, there were some similar mistakes. I'd say that today, again, it was one really two bad innings where they had a rough first inning and they had a rough eighth inning, and that kind of led to the 6-5 loss. But there were a lot of other positives in this one. You kind of got the full. We'll talk about him more in depth later, but we kind of got the full Oneil experience today, where we saw him hit a ball harder than anyone has ever hit a ball, at least in the StatCast era, 122.9. Also had a couple strikeouts and a mistake, but hey, when you're the Pirates, you live with that. When someone plays as well or can hit a ball and do good things for your offense the way Oneil Cruz can. And then there were some other good things. Adam Frazier was really good. Alexander Canario was really good today. But Ryan Borucki wasn't, and that ended up costing them 3 runs. That's kind of my overall thoughts from today. I'd say from this entire series, splitting 2-2, okay result coming in, but at the same time, it kind of feels like they could have won 3 out of 4 or potentially even a 4-game sweep. That's what I'm thinking on this one.
Yeah, I guess the other side of the coin would say they could have also been swept, because it's not like they had super convincing victories in this series as well. I mean, they won close games, they lost close games. So that's really just been the story with this team all year. It's just they've lost a lot more close games than they've won. I'll continue to talk on Cruz for a little bit. I mean, you look at what he achieved this series was relatively impressive. Not relatively impressive. It was very impressive. He had his first multi-home run game. He had the game-winning hit yesterday, and then, like you said, Colin, the hardest hit ball in the StatCast era today. There are still some flaws to his game, absolutely, especially in the field. But when he's clicking, this offense finds a new gear. And you see that with the statistic of the streak being snapped. That was what happened in the first game of this series. 26 games in a row with 4 or less runs scored. They ended that streak with a 5-run effort on Thursday in a loss. But they kept that moving. They scored 5+ runs in 3 of these 4 games. And Oneil Cruz has a lot to do with that, Colin.
Yeah, it really does feel like the offense is in a better place. But Cruz was a huge part of that. We got an email from Pirates PR saying that Cruz had a double, a triple, 3 homers, 5 RBIs, 2 walks, and 5 runs scored in this series. And per the Elias Sports Bureau, he is only the 5th Pirates player ever to post those stats or better in a series of any length. A comparable series, the last time this happened was Brian Giles against the Cubs.
Brian Giles.
Giles, excuse me.
Yes.
It's a player it was before I was born. That's
fair.
In that length. But Oneil Cruz did some really, really good things this series, and the Pirates, their offense looked a lot better because of it.
Yeah. And the starting pitching continues to look well, Colin. I think that's another big takeaway here. Bailey Falter Not a great first inning, but no damage surrendered after that. Mitch Keller, fourth straight quality start. Skeens was good. Didn't get the win, but they won on a day he started finally. They've got good production on the mound under Don Kelly, just continuing to get good starts, and that's been more of the case. The bullpen, though, a little bit of a shaky series, to say the least, here.
Yeah, and the other thing with you say they finally won a Skeen start, they finally won a Keller start too. I believe this was the first in 8 that they of Keller starts that they won, even though he's been pitching really well. But yeah, the bullpen's definitely been an issue, and it was an issue again today. It kind of seems like because they're playing so many close games, they're forced to use the same high leverage relievers repeatedly. We kind of heard from Don Kelly about that post game because Bednar had been pitching in, I think, 4 or 5 or 4 of 6, Santana in 4 or 5 and 4 or 6. Baraki, this was the third time this series he'd pitched. Caleb Ferguson has been used heavily. Jay Shugart's been used heavily. The bullpen really is taxed. I don't really know how much to put on them just being overworked and how much to put on them struggling. It seems like it's kind of the same faces in every single game because these games have been so close and because they don't have 8 guys that they can trust and leverage. So we talked a little bit to Ryan Baraki after the game. It didn't seem like something he was obviously he was not happy about the performance, but it doesn't seem like something he's worried about going forward long term. It was a rough outing for him, but he's confident he'll be back to his best.
Biggest surprise of the series here. We've got just a little bit of time here before we'll wrap this video up. Just your biggest takeaway, biggest noteworthy moment you think from this series, Colin?
It's tough to call this a surprise, but seeing the way the offense responded, or like you knew it was going to happen at some point, so I hesitate to call it a surprise, but I'd say that I feel better about the Pirates offense going forward than I did on Wednesday when we were wrapping up the last series. I know the Brewers don't exactly have the top pitching staff in the league, and at the same time, it's not like the Pirates scored 40 runs over 4 games or anything like that. But I feel like a number of players perform better in this series than they have throughout the entire season, and you saw that the offense is not as historically bad as it looked. I don't know how much it'll last. I don't know if this is just a one-series thing, but I'd say they looked a lot better in this series. That said, Oneil Cruz is not going to have the historic series that he had every single time out. So I think we'll learn a lot about this offense going forward in Arizona and San Diego. It's something to monitor to see whether the current stretch of production is something that'll last or something that was just a one-series thing.
And we will be sure to cover it all. Be sure to follow along. Subscribe to this channel if you don't already at PG Pirates. And again, read our work at Post-Gazette.com. He's Colin Beazley. I'm Noah Hiles. We'll see you on Monday. Pirates take on the Diamondbacks. Beginning of a 3-game series for a 6-game road trip. We'll have you covered.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit post-gazette.com.